Podcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, and welcome to Land Voice Thursday's Power Orientation. My name is Brent Warnock, and I'm glad to have you on the call, and I appreciate you taking time, this 30 minutes today, to be on this call, and I want it to be a very valuable time for you. I know that the only reason that you're on here is to say what to do with Land Voice to make this the most powerful, most profitable tool you've ever used. How do I make money with it? And that is the entire purpose of this call this morning and this afternoon. And I sure appreciate you taking time, like I said. Now, what I want to do just real quick, and it's just really for my benefit, is a couple of administrative things really fast, and then we'll get right into it. I do like to know if you're able to communicate with me that are on the call. If you'll notice on your toolbar on your webinar, you have the ability to ask questions and to chat. Would you really quick, or I'm asking, would everybody just take a moment and say, hey, testing, this is testing, this is Art, or testing, this is Don or George, or they're on this call, just so that I know, hey, you can communicate and you know how to do it. And the reason is I want this to be very interactive. Now we have enough people on this call that it's going to be difficult for me to unmute everybody. I will at the end mute everybody so that you can personally ask me questions. But when I unmute everybody, it becomes very, as you know, very distracting. The echo is very difficult to hear. So when I do that, I'll only be able to do it for a short time, get a question possibly, then I'll mute everybody else up as I answer that question. So really the most effective and the best way is by using the questions on your toolbar, and you're saying yes. So Art, Pearl, Al, Justin, Mark, I'm getting all of those questions. So meaning that as you're talking to me, you can ask any question there, and I will see it during the broadcast, and I'll be able to answer those questions. And again, I really want it to be interactive. I do have some material I want to present, and I want to do it as effective and as quick as I can, but at the same time, I want you to feel free. If something's not clear, or if you're going, hey, how about this issue, Brent, or I'm not clear on this, feel free, please, to email me, not email, sorry, to ask those questions through the toolbar there, and I think it's just a very effective way to operate. For this, I want to do a couple of things so that you know where we're going. Because we can, so that again it's worth your time and get you back to work, because that's how you're going to make money. First, I want to introduce you to Land Voice and to me real quick. After that, I want to give you some power tips. We've done this for 20 years, and we've learned something in that time about how to be successful with the Land Voice FSBOs and the Land Voice Expireds, and I want to give you every possible tool to help you be successful. Yes, it is a self-interested point. I really want you to be on the service a long time. That's how I make my living. Know how you make your living. It is by making money in real estate. And that is what I'm absolutely convinced and that I know we can help you do. And I'll give you some power tips that will be very powerful for you in that. So finally, answer any questions you have. So those are the 3 points I want to cover just as quick as we can. Really quick, my name is Brent Warnock. I'm the founder and owner of Land Voice. Back in 1991, my wife and I started Land Voice, and I want to give you a quick history, very brief, but I think it's valuable so that you know where Voice came from and what system you have access to here, because it's very relevant that you understand, okay, where, in a 2-minute summary, 2-minute history, where did it come from? In 1991, I was in graduate school at the University of Utah, out of Salt Lake City, Utah, and I was in graduate school at the U of U, and I needed a part-time job to support a family. I had one child at the time, and I've always been intrigued by real estate, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go get my real estate license. Now it's perfect, where I could work, one of those agents thinking they could work part-time and make it work, and yet still, do something full-time. I got my real estate license. Then I was reading at the time Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I know some of you are familiar with that book. And he talks, the author talks in that book about, and I'd say that Robert Kowski, but I don't know how to say his name exactly right. But he talks in that book that when you work, you don't work for money, work for experience, work for learning. And I was reading the book at the time, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna employ that in this. And so what I did was I started researching all the realtors in the Salt Lake area. I started calling companies, Coldwell Banker, and at the time Wardley Better Homes and Garden, and Remax, and 321, and all the agents. And I started asking them, who's your best agent and why? Who makes the most money and why? And I really did a lot of research around this. I'd go through the paper, and how, they advertised #1 agents and top 10 agents or whatever. And I really put together this list, did this for a couple weeks, came up with my top 3. The top 3 agents in Utah, here in Salt Lake, that I really thought I could learn from. And I called the first guy that was on the top of this list one day. I said, hey, my name's Brent. I'm a graduate school. I've got a real estate license, and I'd love to work and get experience in real estate. Would you be interested in having an assistant? The first guy I called, my very first top pick, he says, Brent, come down and talk to me. We set up an appointment. I came in and talked to him. Hit it off really good, and he hired me on the spot. Said, I'd love to have you. And he gave me the caveat, and this is where this story's going. You come in tomorrow, Brent, don't go up with having every newspaper, weekly paper, community paper, freebie paper, I don't care, any newspaper that has any classified section in it whatsoever, you don't show up without it in hand. I knew, who I was dealing with here, and I knew that if he asked me to do it, I was going to do it. And the next morning, I took about 2-3 hours, drove around everywhere, every place I could to get every community paper, every freebie paper, like the Savers and the Big Nickels and all of those type of papers, all the daily papers, all the community papers that came out, 1 week or twice a week in the area. And I came into his office with this, and he looked at the list as very impressive. I'm going to show you my system, Brent. That's me. And at the time, he was doing about $100,000 a month in commissions. And he wasn't afraid to say, he's kind of eccentric that way, that net me $100,000 a month in commissions. And I was intrigued. What we did for the next hour is he showed me his system for tracking every sale by owner and every expired in the marketplace. That's what he showed me. That system that he showed me is a voice system. That system you have access to now is the same system that he showed me 20 years ago that was netting him $100,000 a month. And what he showed me is we'd open up the classified, the newspapers, circle all the for sale by owner ads in each ad. This was way before, well, there's computers, but they weren't big as they are now, before the internet. And he had a 3x5 card file system, and we'd use the phone number. So after we circle all the ads in all these papers, then we'd key in the 10 key. We just looked at the phone number, and then we tracked it by numerical order in this 3x5 card file system, so that we could determine, hey, what is this ad new today, or has it been before? If it was new that day, meaning that ad is the first time these for sale by owners had advertised, okay, we'd add it to this 3x5 card base. If we'd already seen it before, we chucked it. We discarded it. We did that for sale by owners through all those papers. It took us a couple hours, and then in the afternoon, about 1 o'clock, we went to lunch. Then in the afternoon, he says, Brent, now we contact these brand new for sale by owners today. And that's what we did for a couple hours. And he was magnificent on the phone. I mean, he was, I knew why he was tremendous. His first words when he would call these for sale by owners? He would say, my name is blank. I'm with this agency, blank agency, and I'm a professional real estate agent, and that's how come I know that you advertised the first time today for sale by owner. Isn't that correct? And it's amazing that these for sale by owners would go, how'd you know that? We advertised today for the first time. Or someone they were just shocked that the agent was on the phone so quick with them that day. There was no system like it at that point. Set up appointments, and that evening then, so this is a full day routine, then that evening he'd have 4, 5, 6 listing appointments. We'd go on them and